Okay, great. Welcome. This is Tech for Senior. It is February the 24th. The daffodils are out. Spring is coming. Wow, great time to be alive. Anyway, welcome everybody, and we're happy that you're here, and we do appreciate coming and visiting us for the next hour and a half. We are indeed have a great show for you today. Lots of interesting topics to discuss. For those of you who have the newsletter, that have subscribed to the newsletter, you probably know about our premiere version today, and we're talking on three things today, and one is on saving money. I'm going to tell you how to save money on your internet. Who doesn't like to learn about saving money, right? Hewie's going to talk about optimizing your Windows files, and Bob, of course, is going to talk about online scams, all today at 1:30. And I want to thank the sponsors of our newsletter, which of course is the Glendora Seniors Computer Club. Thanks so much for sponsoring us. Geeks on Tour, which thank you, Chris and Jim. And of course, this year we have a new sponsor, which of course is APCUG, the Association of Personal Computer User Group, which of course Ray is the president and also the treasurer. So if you have any information, but it's a great organization. It's a national organization. Well, an international organization of which if you have a computer club, I would strongly encourage you to be a member of it, because there's a lot of great things that they can do and certainly support your club. So if you do have a club and you are a member and you are not a member of APCUG, I would certainly encourage you to contact Ray, and I'm sure he'd be able to tell you all about how to do that. But thank you so much, APCUG, for sponsoring our newsletter this year. Don't forget, this Thursday, of course, we have our Tech for Senior Live. Last week, we did an in-depth dive into the new Apple phone that was just released. Of course, you know that Apple has their flagship phone, and then they had a phone which was an economy or budget phone called the SE. Well, the SE is since gone now, and they're going to call it's being replaced by what they're calling is the 16E. And I guess the future, when they get an iPhone 17, I guess the budget one will be 17E. I guess that's how they're going to work it. Anyway, we talk about the difference and what they made a lot of hardware changes and upgraded the old SE to this current model. But it is $300 more. But if you are considering an iPhone, maybe you want to think about that, which will. It's interesting, and so you can replay that video if you are interested in a new iPhone. All right, Hewie, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for inviting me.
You'll be on your toes for next week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You keep saying that. Are you worried about it?
No, not me, not in the least. I'm even going to have a video for you for next week, even though it's my day off. I'm even going to have a video for you, so I'm trying hard for you.
I've got one done, and I'm working on two others. So.
Are you really? Oh, there you go. And speaking of videos, and the man who is the most prolific video producer I've ever met, and that would be Bob Gostischa. Welcome, Bob. Hopefully you get your Comcast problem sorted out.
Yeah, I hope so too. And Comcast may want to make sure it gets solved, because my video, it wasn't very kind to Comcast. And if you haven't seen the video, take a peek.
All right.
I'm being very kind to Comcast because they're not being very kind to me.
Right. And of course, we have thanks for being here, Ray, and certainly thank you for supporting the newsletter. That was really nice that APC you could do that. That's great.
Well, we're glad we could do that. There's, so many of our club members are tuned into Tech for Senior on Monday and Thursday, so it is only appropriate that we show our support as well.
Thanks so much. And Chris and Jim, of course, Chris is at physio still, and Jim is at home. So say hello to Chris for us, and hopefully she's coming along. I keep telling Gail, I said, come on, Chris is doing much better. You got to get your butt going here. So I'm giving her a hard time about that. So anyway, I said, and I always say, look, you got to do the laundry. Laundry is important, and physio's good, but laundry is better. So anyway, I won't tell you what she said, but anyway.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Anyway, the other one, of course, is Bill James. Where's Bill? Where's Bill? Merci beaucoup. Where is Bill? He is in France. So Bill is in France for a couple of weeks. International traveler. He'll be telling us all about his travels when he gets back, I'm sure. So hopefully he's drinking wine and having lots of escargot with pommes frites and all the good things they're eating there. So anyway, he did send some pictures. Huey said he saw them on Facebook, and we will hopefully see him when he gets back. All right, Bob, I guess when I say Bob, take it away, I'm going to Ron take it away, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, we'll see what we can play here. See if I got the right one. If I don't, let me know, eh?
Here's my Tech Talk and Beyond for the week ending February 21st, 2025. And this week's topic, Guess the Hacks. Can you identify the companies behind these recent massive breaches? Imagine waking up one morning, sipping your coffee, and scrolling through the news, only to find out that a major company just lost $500 million. Not because of a bad investment or a failed product launch, but because hackers decided to throw a digital heist party. Sounds like a plot straight out of a Hollywood movie, right? Well, it's real, and it's happened more than once. But which company are we talking about here? Let's dive into the story and see if you can guess the hack. The setup: a digital nightmare. Picture this: a company, let's call it Company X, is minding its own business, handling millions of transactions daily. It's a big name, a household brand, and it's trusted by millions. But one day, cyber criminals sneak in through a tiny crack in the system. Maybe it was a phishing email, a weak password, or an unpatched vulnerability. Whatever it was, the hackers found their way in and decided to throw a $500 million withdrawal party. Ouch! The clues. What do we know? The target, the company, is a global giant known for its digital services and financial transactions. The hack. The breach wasn't just about stealing data. It was about cold, hard cash. The hackers made off with a jaw-dropping $500 million. The aftermath. The company had to scramble to fix the damage, reassure its customers, and figure out how to prevent it from happening again. Spoiler, it's not easy. The suspect. Who could it be? Let's play detective. Here are a few possibilities. A cryptocurrency exchange. Hackers love crypto because it's like digital gold, hard to trace and easy to steal. A major bank. Banks are the Fort Knox of the digital world, but even they aren't immune to cyber attacks. A gaming company. Gamers are passionate, and so are hackers when it comes to stealing their virtual treasures. The big reveal. Drum roll, please. After some sleuthing, the answer is Coincheck. In January 2018, this Japanese cryptocurrency exchange was hit by one of the largest crypto heists in history. Hackers made off with over $500 million worth of NEM tokens. The breach was so massive that it shook the crypto world and led to stricter regulations in Japan. But wait, there's more. Recent hacks that shook the world. While Coincheck $500 million heist is legendary, it's not the only major hack in recent years. Here are 5 more incidents that made headlines. Number 1, Ronin Network 2022. The $625 million Axie Infinity breach. In March 2022, the Ronin network, which powers the popular blockchain game Axie Infinity, was hacked for a staggering $625 million. The attackers gained access to private keys and drained the funds. This breach was particularly shocking because it targeted a gaming platform, showing that hackers are willing to go after any industry with valuable assets. Number 2, Wintermute 2022, the $160 million DeFi hack. In September 2022, Wintermute, a crypto market-making firm, was hacked for $160 million. The attackers exploited a vulnerability in Wintermute's DeFi operations, stealing a mix of cryptocurrencies. Wintermute's CEO assured users that the company remained solvent, but the hack served as a reminder that even the most sophisticated firms are not immune to cyber attacks. Number 3, MoveIt Hack 2023, the data breach that shook the world. In 2023, the MoveIt hack affected hundreds of organizations worldwide, including government agencies, universities, and corporations. Hackers exploited a vulnerability in the MoveIt file transfer software, stealing sensitive data and demanding ransoms. The incident highlighted the growing threat of ransomware attacks and the importance of securing third-party software. Number 4, Euler Finance 2023, the $197 million DeFi exploit. In March 2023, Euler Finance, a decentralized lending platform, was hacked for $197 million. The attackers exploited a flaw in the platform, smart contract code, draining funds in a matter of hours. What made this hack unique was that the hacker eventually returned most of the stolen funds after negotiations with the Euler team. Number 5, Change Healthcare 2024. The $22 million ransomware attack. In February 2024, Change Healthcare, a subsidiary of United Health Group, was hit by a devastating ransomware attack. The breach disrupted healthcare services across the U.S., affecting pharmacies, hospitals, and insurance claims processing. The hackers initially demanded a $22 million ransom, highlighting the vulnerability of the healthcare sector to cyber threats. 2025 predictions, quantum computing threats. Looking ahead to 2025, the cybersecurity world is bracing for the potential impact of quantum computing. While quantum computers are still in their infancy, they have the potential to break traditional encryption methods, leaving sensitive data vulnerable. Governments and corporations are already investing in quantum-resistant encryption to stay ahead of the curve. Could 2025 be the year we see the first quantum-powered hack? It's a possibility worth preparing for. Why these hacks matter. These incidents aren't just about the money, they're about trust. When a company gets hacked, it shakes the confidence of its users and customers. Let's be honest, no one wants to wake up to an email saying, "Oops, we lost your data, and maybe your life savings." Here's what we can learn from these hacks. No one is immune. From crypto exchanges to gaming platforms, hackers will target anyone with valuable assets. Security is a moving target. Companies must constantly update their systems to stay ahead of cybercriminals. User awareness matters. Even the best security systems can fail if someone falls for a phishing email or uses a weak password. A little humor to lighten the mood. Imagine hackers as digital pirates, sailing the high seas of the internet in search of treasure. But instead of a parrot on their shoulder, they've got a keyboard and a VPN. And instead of yo ho ho, their battle cry is Control Alt Steal. Don't let them plunder your digital booty. Stay vigilant. Final thoughts. So did you guess the hack? Whether it's Coincheck's $500 million heist or Change Healthcare's $22 million ransomware attack, these stories remind us that the digital world is both incredible and perilous. Cybersecurity isn't just a buzzword, it's a necessity. What's your take on these breaches? Do you think companies are doing enough to protect our data and assets? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this information, share it with your friends, because who doesn't love a good cyber mystery? You'll find the video used in today's Tech Talk at the link listed. Did you know? There is a strong chance that people allergic to natural rubber latex are also allergic to bananas, avocados, kiwis, and chestnuts due to the similarity between the proteins found in each. Professional wrestler John Cena holds the world's record for granting the most wishes through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, with over 650 wishes and counting granted. In the early days of air travel, the first stewardesses were required to be registered nurses. Except for the letter Q, every letter of the alphabet shows up in the names of the various states in the United States. Just thought you might like to know. Have no fear of perfection. You will never reach it. Thanks to Salvador Dali. It should, however, be everyone's goal to achieve it. Thanks to yours truly. And that's a wrap for this week's Tech Talk and Beyond. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye, and thanks for reading, watching, and listening.
So, Bob, that was interesting. Everyone may or may not remember CES this year, but the head of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, he's the CEO, stood up and he was doing the keynote address, and he had in the palm of his hand a small device. And he said that this was the new quantum computer that NVIDIA was bringing out. Do you remember that, Bob? And the stock market went into a free fall. And the next day he had to come out and say, well, it was sort of like that. It was going to be a future prototype. Remember that?
And with Microsoft's just released.
Yeah.
It's closer than we think.
You said, and I remember on our show, you said, no, you said, I'm not going to be alive for quantum computing, but I think you might be. That may not be true. Could be a lot sooner than we think. Anyway.
Sooner than any of us think.
There you go. All right, let's see what I've got for you today. Let's see. We find a video here. I think I've got some around. Let's see. Let's play this one. It is October the 14th. 2025. You are a senior and confused because support for Windows 10 has just ended. You have two choices, and today I want to discuss a Chromebook or an iPad. In this video, we'll discuss the pros and cons of both, and I'm going to suggest which one is best for you. There are three key things that you need to know, and I'm going to discuss those in this video to help you make your purchase and get away from Windows. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, where we help seniors understand technology and help them navigate this difficult decision coming up in October of 2025. So my advice is to leave Windows behind. Choose one of these two choices, unless, of course, you want to learn about a CPU, a GPU, an NPU, if you want to learn about Intel, AMD, Snapdragon, emulation mode, Blackwell chips, NVIDIA chips, SSDs. Oh, we could go on and on and on, as we do at Tech for Senior, making a lot of videos. We also talk a lot about the Windows 11 problems with updates and all the failures that occur. In other words, you have to do 3 Hail Marys before you do an update because it may not install. Do you really want all this headache as you're turning the corner and have to make a decision? My advice is to watch this video and choose either a Chromebook or an iPad. And I'm going to tell you which of those two you should choose. So in 2025, both the operating system on a Chromebook and an iPad are mature systems and a replacement for your Windows 10 machine. Don't be worried. You can do everything you need to do on both these machines. So let's have a look at the Chromebook first. I want to talk a little bit about the operating system. So this slide is an old slide that I've used in the many courses I teach on Chromebooks. And in this slide, you'll see 3 pictures. You're going to see the big trucks depicting the operating systems from Apple and Windows. Then you're going to see a little Mazda Miata down at the bottom, and it is, of course, representative of the Chrome operating system. Now, I want to ask you 3 questions. I want to ask you, which of these vehicles goes the fastest? Which of these vehicles has the least horsepower? And which of these vehicles is the most fun to drive? So let's look at this. Of course, the Mazda Miata, it's going to go faster. It's going to go like stink. The Mazda Miata, of course, has not much horsepower. You got a lot of horsepower with those big trucks, and it's going to be the most fun to drive. That's because the Mazda Miata has a tiny little engine and is well designed. Those 2 great big trucks up there representing the Windows massive software operating system is because it's a legacy system. It's huge. It requires a lot of horsepower to run and a lot of space on your hard drive. And the same with the Apple operating system. So let's have a look at this tiny little operating system called Chrome OS. You know, it's so small that we put 2 copies on every Chromebook. Yeah, you get 2. So there's a primary copy and a secondary copy. The primary copy is what you run on your Chromebook, and the secondary copy stays in the background. And you know what happens to it? Well, that's where all the updates occur. All the security features, all the updates, everything happens on that secondary copy. And when you go to bed at night and have a sleep, they secretly switch the copies on you. And when you start your computer up in the morning, instant, you wouldn't even know that it had a new version of the operating system on it. All happens behind the scene. No more Windows update in the middle of a program. No more failed updates. No more Windows hassle with updates and security features on your machine. It all happens secretly in the background. It's magic. We call it magic in our course. We call it magic. So let's talk about security on a Chromebook. Chromebooks have never been hacked and never will be. Chromebooks, of course, were designed by Google through the US school system. In other words, they were made for kids and they had to be secure. The other issue is they're a modern operating system. In other words, they've only been around for about 10 years. So it has all the latest in security features, unlike the old legacy systems we had that, of course, require antivirus, malware protection, and it goes on and on and on. If you have a Windows machine, you'll understand all that. Well, in a Chromebook, there is no security software that you need. All the security software is built into the operating system and kept up to date. So you don't need McAfee or any of those antiviruses. You don't need malware or anything like that on a Chromebook. It's all included for free in the operating system. I often get asked, what other software comes with a Chromebook? Can we use other software? Well, your Chromebook actually comes with a whole suite of software. To give you some examples, it comes with, of course, Gmail. Who doesn't use Gmail? It comes with Google Docs, document service, Google Sheets, and many more features, all included for free on your Chromebook. If you want to use Microsoft products, that's available as well on a Chromebook. Now, I often get asked about AI. Can you use AI on a Chromebook? Of course you can, and it's integrated as well into the software. And on my new Chromebook I just showed you, when I first started it up, it said, "Hey Ron, how would you like Gemini Pro free for a year?" I said, "You got to be kidding. I was going to pay $340 for that." And they said, "No, we'll give it to you for free." That's what I paid for my Chromebook. So I now have a whole year of Gemini Pro for free, and it was a promotional package on my Chromebook. So yeah, it's great. It's free. I like free. So in our courses, we often get students coming in with their Chromebook. They sit down very nervously and they look at me and they say, "Well, how do we set this thing up?" Oh, I said, "Well, just put your Gmail username and password in." And they do that, and all of a sudden, instant, like it's just instant, the machine fires up and all their stuff is there. Everything that they have in their Google account is all online right there. Their eyes bug up and say, "How did it do that?" And I say, it's just magic. We call these magic machines. So listen, I could go on all day long talking about the benefits of Chromebooks, and I've done a lot of videos about that, and I'll put some of the links in the description. Let me give you a few tips as we move on with this video. The first thing is I'd like you to set a budget of about $300 to $500 for a Chromebook. And the reason for this is there's a lot of cheap Chromebooks particularly on Amazon. Stay away from refurbished machines or secondhand machines that you see. A lot of these are leasebacks from the school systems and just aren't going to be a fun machine to use. So set a budget. I also have made a number of videos about purchase considerations for Chromebooks in 2023, 2024, and 2025. The links will be down below and you can have a look at that. But listen, you need to know one important thing. Last year, Google came out with a standard for Chromebooks, and they're called Chromebook Pluses. And because there's so many different models and makes and models of Chromebooks that it can be confusing. So what they wanted to do is have a label that showed a minimum standard for what you would want, and that's called a Chromebook Plus. So if you see that, you will know that it has all the standards in there for speed, memory, etc., to make that a great machine for you. So remember that, Chromebook Plus. Look for that. So the next thing is the size of the screen. I know a lot of seniors have trouble with their vision and you like a bigger screen. I would stick to around a 14 or 15 screen. There's a few models of Chromebooks that have bigger screens, but don't buy those. Those are too big and they're clunky. You can plug any large monitor into a Chromebook. So I go big, get a 34-inch monitor, plug it in, and then you'll have no trouble with your vision. The other thing you should understand is that all Chromebooks come built in a casting feature. So it'll cast the image to your TV. So you can use your Chromebook and you can watch it on like a 90-inch screen. So you get a huge screen and it automatically will cast to most modern TVs now. And that's all built into a Chromebook. Now to give you some further help, because there are a lot of models out there, I'm going to recommend you to a website called Chrome Unboxed. They have a wealth of knowledge there, and Robbie Payne, who's their tester there, almost tests every darn Chromebook that's made. They have great videos on selection and all the features of all the new Chromebooks that are there. And I'll put the link here, but I would suggest if you want to do some more online research and you want to look, Chrome Unboxed is a great place to go. And no, I don't work for them. They don't even know about me, but I always plug them because it's a great site and a good resource for you. So pop over there if you want to look at all the different makes and models. The next thing you should know is something I really found out this last year in 2024. My Pixelbook, which is my favorite Chromebook built by Google many years ago, finally needed replacing. And so I spent last year doing a huge amount of research trying to find the specific model that I wanted. And of course, where did I go? I went to Chrome Unboxed and followed all Robbie Payne's reviews. Well, none of those machines were available in Canada. In fact, Chromebooks are sold selectively into the US market. Hey, it originated from the schools and it's sold specifically into the US market. And even in Canada, the number of new models that come out in Canada is very limited. Now, my daughter, who is an international school teacher, who has taught, let me get this right, has taught in Japan, New Zealand, Singapore, 8 years in China, and is now teaching in Africa, says, Dad, nobody has ever heard of a Chromebook in those areas. So you'll find once you get out of the United States, Chromebooks work all over the world, but you're probably going to find a very limited selection. So just to let you know that don't be surprised if that's the case. Of course, what is not limited is an iPad. No matter where you go in those countries and how far you go out into the rural areas, they all have iPads. iPads are universal around the world. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about all the features of iPads. Of course, you probably know that. But iPads have a great operating system. Now remember, they're made by Apple. Unlike Chromebooks, which are made by all sorts of different companies, iPads are only made by Apple. And Apple has a strong history of security and great operating system. So there's nothing wrong with an iPad. It's a great machine. But just hold on, don't go yet. I want to give you the 3 most important things about this video that you need to know in making your selection for between these two. So hang in there for a few more minutes and we'll get to that point. So a Chromebook or an iPad, both great machines, but which one should you choose? All right, let's decide how we're going to do this. And I want to come to point number 1. First of all, it depends on what cell phone you have. If you have an iPhone, and let's face it, over 50% of the United States customers have iPhones as cell phones. In Canada, it's even a little more, so it's common. If you have an iPhone, you should buy an iPad. There's no question about that. The two just work great. Think of it like this. We have gravy and we have chocolate sauce. So chocolate sauce is great on ice cream. Gravy, not so much. Gravy goes on roast beef. So if we're looking at the iPhone, then you really want to get the iPad because the two complement each other. They work great together. Don't even consider a Chromebook. Phone. Let's go over to Android. And if you have a Pixel phone, then your selection should be no-brainer. It should be a Chromebook. There's a special relationship between, well, it's Google, I guess. There's a special relationship between Pixel phones and Chromebooks. They work really well together. Now, of course, if you have another type of Android phone, such as maybe a Motorola or a Samsung, they work well with Chromebooks as well. It's the same operating system talking to each other. So I would go with a Chromebook in those situations, but for sure, if you have an iPhone, you go with an iPad. All right, let's look at the second point. So I want to just let you know that Tech for Senior was founded by Hewie and I 5 years ago. We were concerned with seniors entering into COVID, and we could see the writing on the wall with social isolation. And that's why we founded Tech for Senior. And today, over 1 million people have watched our videos. But one of the founding principles we had at Tech for Senior was to prevent social isolation. So when you're looking at this and you're trying to make this decision between the two, my advice is to decide what your family is using. You want to stay connected with family and friends. Now, in my case, both my daughters and family all use iPhones. They have iPads, iPhones, everything Apple. They've never heard of Android. So you know what? That's why I have an iPad. We talk to them. One of them lives in Africa, the other lives in Australia. But we talk to them every day. You know, the kids call us, everybody calls us. We use this as a communication tool to talk to our family. So my advice is that you search out your family, talk to them, and decide really what they're using for communication. They'll tell you they're all using it. You may not be, but it's important that you make this decision and start using these devices, because as seniors, our life changes and you may be moving into different type of environment. And if you have a device that has one button, you just push that button and you can talk to anyone all over the world for free. Yes, both Chromebook and iPad, you push one button and you can talk for free to anyone in the world as long as you want. It's so simple to do. So in your selection, figure out what the operating system of your family is and make that choice. Now, the third point is considering the other members of your family. If you're widowed and you only have one person to look after, then you don't have an issue. But if there is a spouse involved, then you need to consider what their needs are with their machine. For example, your wife may be a quilter and maybe her sewing machines need to be updated, or the software that she uses with them is Windows based. And this may be a bit tricky. So the other thing I want to just remind you today is that even as Windows 10 does not get any security updates, it is still safe to use in your home as long as you keep it off the internet. Unplug any Ethernet cables, make sure you don't connect it to your internet, and you can still use that Windows machine and it will be fine to use even though you won't be getting the security updates. Just make sure you keep it off the internet. Well, it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Well, you got two choices, an iPad or a Chromebook. Stay away from that nasty Windows stuff. You know what? We make a lot of videos, and if you want to keep updated, you just hit that like and subscribe, and we'll keep you updated as we make new videos at Tech for Senior. Have a great day. All right. Hewie, you're up.
What'd you say?
You're up.
What'd you say?
Right. What did you say? Can you tell me something about hearing? We need, is there anything we can learn about hearing?
Audien Atom Pro 2 over-the-counter hearing aids, a comprehensive review, an affordable and accessible solution for mild to moderate hearing loss. I'll explore its features, pros, cons, and user experiences. I'm Hewie Poplock. The target audience for the device and intended use is mild to moderate hearing loss, designed for those seeking a budget-friendly and easy-to-use solution. 2, over-the-counter option, no prior hearing test or prescription required for purchase and use. An alternative to expensive aids, provides essential features at 95% less cost than prescription hearing aids. Comfort and size, small and discreet, nearly invisible when worn, providing a low-profile solution. A comfortable fit, lightweight design allows for extended wear without discomfort. And many users report forgetting they're wearing the devices. This has happened to me several times. I have to put my finger up to my ear and feel it and realize it's still in. The rechargeable technology. There's multiple charges. The wireless charging case provides 3 additional charges. There's UV sanitation. Built-in UV light kills bacteria and microorganisms, and a quick disinfection. The UV sanitation cycles only takes 5 to 10 minutes. Multiple modes and settings. There's 4 listening modes, tailored for different environments like conversations or outdoor settings. There's 5 volume settings, allows users to adjust for various noise levels. Environmental adaptability. Users can customize their hearing experience based on surroundings. And you'll see the dot in the picture is how you adjust it. You click it You push it in with your finger and it will go to the next setting. Affordability. The cost savings compared to prescription hearing aids. Audien Atom Pro 2 offers significant cost savings while providing essential hearing improvement features. Ease of use. No smartphone app. Simple controls without the need for complex digital interfaces. No hearing test required. Users can start using the device immediately after purchase. And user-friendly design. Intuitive operation suitable for all age groups. Performance limitations. Below average in noise. Struggles in speech recognition in noisy environments. Limited power. May not be suitable for severe hearing loss cases. And comparison to high-end devices, performance may not match expensive prescription hearing aids. Connectivity and control issues. There's no Bluetooth connectivity. It lacks app control for adjustments. Manual controls. The volume and mode changes require physical button presses, and the volume reset. The device is reset to default volume when powered on. And independent operation. Left and right aids work separately, potentially causing delays. The UV sanitation feature. The effectiveness kills up to 99.99% of common surface bacteria. Coverage designed for 360-degree sanitation. The speed does it in 5 to 10 minutes. And the technology uses UV-C light for disinfection. This is the Audien hearing case and the hearing aids. User appreciation. Discreet design, small and nearly invisible when worn. Rechargeable, convenient charging with the UV cleaning. Now, when I say rechargeable, you can take the hearing aids, which will last at least 24 hours. I have not had it die on me, but because when I do take them out, I do put them in the case. And the case will charge them at least 3 times. And then there's noise cancellation, improves clarity in noisy environments, and the adjustable modes are tailored to different environments. Potential drawbacks. Performance and noise may struggle in very noisy environments. Manual adjustments, lack of app control may be inconvenient for some. And then the feedback issues. Some users may experience feedback during adjustment. Although the Audien Atom Pro 2 may not offer the high-end functionalities found in prescription devices, it does provide solid value at its price. Over-the-counter hearing aids like the Audien Atom Pro 2 are intended for adults with mild to moderate hearing loss and can be bought without a prescription. In contrast, prescription hearing aids are customized by audiologists and can accommodate all levels of hearing loss. They also feature more advanced technology and tailored adjustments. The usual price range of a pair of prescription hearing aids is between $2,000 and $8,000, while over-the-counter options generally cost between $200 and $1,000. The Audien Atom Pro 2 lists for $289, less than $300, but many times it is on sale, and you can get it at Amazon, Walmart, and from Audien Hearing directly, and other places as well. In conclusion, it's an affordable option, viable solution for mild to moderate hearing loss. It's user-friendly, easy to use with convenient features like the UV sanitation, and consider needs. Weigh the pros and cons based on individual hearing requirements. My final thoughts: the Audien Atom Pro 2 are budget friendly. There are no batteries to worry about. You recharge the case and you recharge the A's in the case. They last all day and then some. The case is also the charger, and I hear a lot more than I did before. And then some minuses. I have a problem with feedback in my right ear. I have to keep repositioning them in my ear. And sometimes I forget to put them in. So by the time I get somewhere, as I say, I forgot to put them in my pocket or put the case in my pocket or put them in my ear. In a group, I hear everyone, so it's not perfect. So I'm hearing more things than I really want to hear sometimes. And then as I mentioned, I get feedback above the two lowest settings. And then but the final is I hear a lot more than I did before. The Audien Atom Pro 2 over-the-counter hearing aids. This has been a comprehensive review. I'm Hewie Poplock.
Can you hear me?
I can.
You unmuted yourself.
Yes.
Very good. Thanks, Hugh. That's great. That's very interesting. Yes, I'm sure there'll be lots of questions in the Q&A. All right, our last segment is Bob's, and thank you, Bob, for doing this. I think Mike Ungerman was the one who found this article, and it's really interesting. Anyway, thank you for doing this. It's a great video. Let's have a look and see what Bob has to say.
Imagine you get an email from Apple asking you to reset your password due to suspicious activity. The email looks real. The link inside appears to take you to apple.com. You click on it, enter your credentials, and just like that, your account is compromised. But wait, how did this happen? The website looked exactly like Apple's. The answer lies in a sneaky cyber attack called a homographic attack or homoglyph attack. Let's break it down. What is a homographic attack? A homographic attack is a type of cyber deception where attackers register fake domain names that look almost identical to legitimate websites. This is done by using characters from different alphabets that visually resemble real letters. For example, the real Apple website is apple.com, written using English letters from the Latin alphabet. Now here's the trick. The letter A in apple.com can be swapped with A from a Cyrillic alphabet, which looks nearly identical, but is actually a different character. So an attacker could create apple.com using a Cyrillic A. At a glance, this looks exactly like the real site, but your browser sees it as a completely different domain, leading you to a fake Apple website designed to steal your credentials. How often do these attacks happen? More often than you think. Homographic attacks are frequently used in phishing campaigns, fake websites that steal login details, malware distribution, sites that install viruses on your device, business email compromise scams, fraudsters impersonating companies to steal money. Major companies like Google, Apple, and PayPal have all been targets of this attack. In fact, security researchers have repeatedly demonstrated how easy it is to register homographic domain names, making this a serious and ongoing threat. Why should you care? Because you could be the next target. Cybercriminals use homographic attacks to trick people into entering their passwords, credit card numbers, or other sensitive data. Even experienced users can fall for these tricks if they're not careful. How to protect yourself? Look for HTTPS and SSL certificates. Secure websites will display a lock icon next to the URL, but beware. Some fake sites can still use HTTPS. Manually type website addresses. Instead of clicking links in emails,
type the URL yourself. Use browser security features. Chrome, Firefox, and Edge have built-in warnings for known phishing sites. Enable two-factor authentication. Even if your password is stolen, 2FA can stop attackers from accessing your account. Inspect the URL carefully. If something feels off, copy and paste the link into a text editor to check for strange characters. Final thoughts. Homographic attacks are dangerous but avoidable if you stay vigilant. Cybercriminals rely on tricking your eyes, but with awareness and good security habits, you can stay one step ahead. So next time you get an email asking you to log in to apple.com, take a closer look. It might not be what it seems. Stay safe online. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye, and thanks for reading, watching, and listening.
That's not fair. That is hitting below the belt, Bob. That is really
it's done quite often, and this is the part that really is deceiving, because the character has a different number, so
right.
it look completely different when you actually put it in the browser, but you can tell the difference.
I think that's just unfair, Bob. I think that's just not fair at all.
Complain to the hackers, see if it makes any difference.
All right. So listen, before we get going with Ray in a minute here, I just want to say goodbye to everyone. If you are if you're over on YouTube listening to our video, thank you for coming. We do appreciate the hour that you've been with us. And don't forget, if you want to pop over and participate in our Q&A at top of the hour, we're happy to have you. And also don't forget on Thursday for our Thursday show, Tech for Senior Live, and we'll be there for you. So, and we'll be back here next week, same time, same place. So I'm just going to stop the live feed. Are you good? You should be good to go.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see if I can make this work today.
Worked great last week.
Jerry Butler, A Soulful Journey. Jerry Butler was born on December 8, 1939 in Sunflower, Mississippi. He grew up in a modest household in Chicago, Illinois, after his family moved there when he was 3 years old. Music was an integral part of Butler's upbringing as he sang in church choirs and was heavily influenced by gospel music. In the late 1950s, Jerry Butler, along with childhood friend Curtis Mayfield, formed the R&B vocal group The Impressions. The group initially started as a gospel quintet, but eventually transitioned into rhythm and blues. Their first major hit, For Your Precious Love, released in 1958, showcased Butler's deep baritone voice and emotive delivery, earning them widespread acclaim. The song's success led to a record deal with VJ Records and established The Impressions as a significant force in the burgeoning soul music scene. In 1960, Jerry Butler embarked on a solo career with He Will Break Your Heart, co-written with Curtis Mayfield. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, Butler released a string of successful albums and singles, including Moon River, Never Give You Up, and Only the Strong Survive. His smooth, rich voice and ability to convey deep emotion resonated with audiences, earning him the nickname The Iceman for his cool, effortless style. Aside from singing career, Jerry Butler also made significant contributions as a songwriter and producer. He also served as Cook County Commissioner in Illinois for over 20 years, advocating for issues such as affordable housing, healthcare, and education. Butler's commitment to his community and his efforts to effect positive change reflect the same passion and dedication that characterize his music. Artists such as Marvin Gaye, Al Green, and Barry White have cited Butler as a significant influence on their own careers. His contributions to the genre have been recognized with numerous awards and accolades, including induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of The Impressions. Butler died from Parkinson's disease at his home in Chicago on February 20th, 2025, at the age of 85. Today's clip is from 15 years ago this month, when he appeared at the Alabama Theater in Birmingham to sing what I consider a song that will always be a classic love song. One of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah, me too. Wasn't it late 50s that was popular?
1958, it came out on VJ
Yep.
Records.
Yep.
But Ray, I got to get one of those silver suits. I
Yeah.
think Jim wants one too. That would be so cool. I think the silver suits.
I want to be a
those.
backup singer for that
Yeah.
kind of.
That'd be great for sure. Thanks, Ray. Well done
Thanks, Ray.
as usual. It was a good one. Thanks so much. It is now top of the hour. Time for us to move on. Eh, Hewie? Where did the hour go by? Hey, lots of fun.